to the jungle of hero wars. Artemis. She was a nearly never seen hero, but her rework and the introduction of Fafnir changed everything. Together with Tristan, we have now an amazing meta team. It feels similar to the Satori rework, but this time it's a smart synergistic combo between all heroes. And it creates the one ultimate magic. Whoosh! Let's check out how Artemis works. Her green skill is the blind with a medium range. It comes in handy against physical frontline heroes like Kark or Yasmine. Here do we see the flashlight. And all attacks of the blinded heroes, including the ultimate, are missing now. The crossed eye over the head shows us the blind. And additionally, she does some extra damage if the enemy is blinded or stunned. Her smart arrow is not really smart, it's now more like a flying bomb, and it triggers whenever an enemy is blinded or stunned. The damage is equal to her physical attack. Luther's jump stuns now Martha and Faceless. Artemis is loading her special arrow immediately, and her target is now Martha, because she chooses always the farthest enemy. Now Cleaver gets stunned and she shoots already again. Boom! The 4 seconds are really little and she gains the 10% energy for each used skill. Artemis' violet skill works now in the other way around. The more life her team has, the more additional physical attack she will get. She has normally 53,000 physical attack, but her first shot does in this example over 80,000. That's a very awesome ability. Interesting fact, the limit of 42,000 can't be reached, even with the 4 highest life heroes. Now let's talk about her unbelievable ultimate. She shoots 10 arrows with the option to increase the amount. For each used ultimate of your allies, you will get 1 additional arrow. If it's an honor hero, then you will get 2 additional arrows. The damage is not really high and the multiplier is only at 15%. Here's a good example to show Artemis' standalone power. 1 arrow does with her own artifact buff about 18,000 damage, and if she crits, then 36,000. You are probably wondering and think, why it's so low? You know hits like this. So many damage with 1 little arrow. For this we have to look at Fafnir. He is a pure supporter with no own damage abilities. His basic attacks are converted into his green skill, and he creates a stackable shield for 1 chosen ally. The target is chosen randomly, but agility heroes have priority. So if you use only 1 agility hero, then he will get it for sure. The interesting part is that your chosen ally gets once in a battle an anti-die protection. We have on the right side only Artemis as agility hero, so Fafnir forges his shield only for her. The health bar grows and grows. Zisha uses her ultimate and would kill this lower Artemis, but instead the life stops at 1 point and the rest of the damage disappears. Yes, really. So the damage doesn't go directly over into the shield. Zisha's attack dropped Artemis' health under the 25% limit, and the shield is now active. At this point all damage goes into the shield and we see this block text. It doesn't matter if she gets healed. Fafnir's special shield works after it's triggered like a normal shield. Here's another example where we can see the remaining 1 life point. The 80,000 hit demonstrates us, yes, Artemis' life was before over 25%. She can't die because the shield wasn't triggered yet. And now the switch is off and Jorgen does more damage than the shield has. And we see her last life point. Keep in mind, Fafnir's shield will be activated if the life drops under the 25% limit. With the activation you lose the anti-die protection too. This little 40k hit dropped Artemis under the limit, which triggers Fafnir's shield. And now she has lost her anti-die protection. Amira's gold is able to kill her now. Fafnir's blue skill is really nice. He increases for the same target additionally the physical damage. It sounds at first not so great, but it's extra damage and not extra physical attack. That means you can ignore the formula and just add it to your attack. If an honor hero like Artemis attacks strength-based heroes, the amount is even doubled. Fafnir's blue fire breath shows us he is forging this sword and applies it to Artemis. No other external buffs are active and she does already 124k. Jorgen is a strength-based hero, so we get about 40k damage on top. But the impressive part is her ultimate. Each arrow has its own calculation. That means each arrow gets the additional damage. Helios is an intelligence-based hero. Here do we see only 59,000. For Jorgen and Lilith is this buff doubled, so the damage is much higher. And finally her own crit ability doubles it again. Both abilities are calculated dynamically. The more physical attack Fafnir has, the higher the shield and the additional damage will be. The multiplier is very good and we get a lot of additional numbers. His violet skill is especially nice for Artemis and her smart arrow. It helps to trigger her skill more frequently, even with heroes who can't stun. The condition is only to have a higher armor penetration than the armor value. Ju has over 16,000 and Aurora has only 40,000. It stuns. Now he attacks Martha. She has only 5,000 armor. It stuns. His next hit on Martha doesn't stun because of the 8 seconds cooldown. Especially nice is his ultimate. You can imagine he spreads out all his buffs to every ally. If you have a big shield collected, everyone will get it. And it means also the anti-die protection, which is very awesome. Fafnir is using his ultimate and spreads out the shield and the sword buff. The best part is Artemis gets now an additional blade buff on top. If you watch closer, you will see both. And this is the real overpowered part. Crazy. But the rest received also the buff, and Andvari hits now with over 100,000. So his ultimate is more powerful than expected, but the text seems to be wrong. Also casts a runic blade effect at the current level on all allies. What does it mean? If no sword buff is active, he has to cast a level 1 buff, and if the buff is already active, a double buff. If no buff is active like here, everyone gets a sword buff, so it must be level 1. I've made a lot of tests, but I got still the same result. He casts always a single buff, completely independent if a sword buff is active or not. Probably they mean the current level of the shield. That would make more sense. Artemis and Fafnir are a great duo, but Artemis' armor penetration value is not the highest. We can solve the problem easily with Tristan. He is the armor penetration machine. It's because of his violet ability, which allows him to gain the same amount of energy like his allies in front of him on top. And that's not all. We have of course more synergy effects. Cleaver gains his normal 10% basic attack energy, and loses some life. Tristan gains the same amount as bonus energy, Luther's too. With his first basic attack he has already over 30% energy, which is really crazy. Keep an eye on his attack. We see no stun, because Corvus has more armor than Tristan's armor penetration value. He gains so much energy. And now he uses his ultimate before anyone else. The armor value is now for every enemy 0, and this triggers Fafnir's violet skill too. The whole team is now able to stun. Very nice synergy effect. And he provides often many overlapping penetration buffs. The next great synergy effect is his own penetration value plus his blue skill. To make it short, he burns the energy of the enemy with the highest magic penetration value. Sattery is the only one with a magic penetration, so he will be his target. Those mini clouds are his blue skill. Watch now at Sattery's energy. Each cloud absorbs 100 energy and does only about 5000 physical damage. This happens every 10 seconds and Sattery can't load properly his energy. It's a nice ability. Now to the synergy effect. If your target has less armor than Tristan's penetration, then triggers Fafnir's violet too. Peppy meets the condition and many other magic heroes too. Tristan shoots his clouds at Peppy and suddenly she gets stunned. It triggers Artemis' smart arrow and boom. For Artemis user, a very helpful synergy effect, and for the others, very annoying. That's not all, perhaps a secret effect, which is amazing strong. We saw it does very little damage, but with Fafnir's buff it mutates to a wonder weapon. 100,000 for each cloud. Awesome! It's so crazy because it adds the additional damage after the calculation. Remember, if Nonna hero attacks a strength-based hero, the additional damage will be doubled. Wow, 122,000 with one cloud. And finally we reached even a 162k hit with not maxed heroes. This trio is already super strong and should always be used together. A great addition is Galahad. He is also under Honor faction and benefits very well by Tristan's armor penetration buffs. Plus he has his own vampirism and provides physical attack to increase Fafnir's skill. With Dorian we can add the self-healing also to Artemis. It doesn't help Fafnir because he does no damage, but the self-healing has a great side effect. In this legendary Hydra fight do we see the great synergy of this combo. The whole fight Artemis never drops under the 25% limit because of her crazy damage and the self-healing. Fafnir can stack her shield nearly endless. With each ultimate he spreads out always a bigger shield. And with each ultimate Artemis gains more and more arrows. Fafnir's word buff helps to increase the damage, and Dorian's ultimate allows Tristan to heal himself and increases also Galahad's healing. It's a nice technique, which you can use in different ways. If you watch at the physical attack buffs, you will see how important they are. With 4 buffs and the double sword buff against the strength-based Hydra, he adds unbelievable 300,000 to each arrow.
What the
The next option is to use a tank in front of Galahad. It has the advantage to get more energy for Tristan, and more penetration buffs are always great. For example, Luther, also an honor hero who loves to make some mess. His jump allows to attack more the backline heroes, and he turns often some heroes around. Or pushes heroes out of Dorian's aura. Cleaver is a great hero too. He has the same vampirism like Galahad and helps to bring the last hero in your range. Okay, let's talk about how to counter this trio. Like nearly always with Jorgen, generally played with Faceless. All three heroes are awesome if they are using their ultimate. And yes, Jorgen stops the energy gaining, which helps really. There are many variations possible. For example, the classic Clappy combination with Cleaver, Peppy and Martha. Cleaver's Rusty Hook helps to get Fafnir into Jorgen's range, and he stuns the front line. Peppy's boldness finished them off. Here do we see the weakness if we use Luther. Martha catches the smart arrow and heals it easily away, plus gets the lost life energy. Cleaver pulls Fafnir to the front and Jorgen stops their energy gaining. We have a lot of stuns and interruptions, which helps to solve the problem. In the fight before, it was not possible to reach Artemis with Jorgen's ultimate. It depends on the positioning. Best case is of course to reach Artemis like here. With Arachne do we have the smarter variant. She has an armor artifact buff and has great stunning abilities for the frontline. Her jump attacks the lowest health hero, which is generally Artemis. Additionally, she has a poison, which helps sometimes to trigger earlier Fafnir's shield on Artemis. Here do we see how she's putting her tiny stunning bombs down. We have a lot of armor buffs and Tristan's energy gaining is stopped. Artemis' ultimate does nearly no damage. A similar way is to use them with Helios. He has also the armor buff and kills Artemis with his flaming retribution skill. Helios has only the problem to have no own magic penetration, and Artemis received a new magic defense skin. That's why we see here only 15,000 hits. Nevertheless, it works very well in that constellation. The next hero who works often well too is Ziri. She has the highest armor value in the game and increases it even with her ultimate massively. Her own armor artifact buff will be applied before and then increased. Additionally, she taunts all enemies, which means she will get all attacks. If the timing is right, you will see something like this. All arrows are going at her, and they do nearly no damage, even with an active penetration buff. Together with Helios, very nice. By the way, here do we see the difference between Artemis with magic defense skin and without. And I found a funny situation with Ziri. It's like a magic trick. You see arrows? No, there are no arrows. A very surprising counter is Phobos. He loves to attack the highest magic attack hero and steals his energy. Funnily, Artemis has the highest magic attack in this trio, and we can use Phobos' power at her. He is a really awesome guy and already a slow hero super effective. Here do we see his Bond of Darkness in a shiny way. Now our gained energy will be transferred to Phobos. And now we take her out of the game and he burns her left energy too. With his ultimate he decreased the magic attack around the target, so don't wonder if he attacks then other heroes. The next counter is Yasmine. Tristan is our engine in this combo and she loves to attack him. But keep in mind, He has a lot of life and Yasmine has still no armor penetration. Best case is to use Tristan too. With his death, your own armor buffs show their effect, and it's easier now. But be carefully, Artemis has a blind. If Yasmine gets no damage, she gets blinded, attacks Tristan, and all her attacks miss like here. Now to counter the counter. Let's start with Jorgen. His ultimate is really a pain for this combo. I've said it already a bit, but we can counter him with the right setup. Artemis is a backline hero and Jorgen wouldn't hit her in a normal case. But with Faceless, do we change the position? To avoid this, you need just 2 tanks to hold the line after Faceless race. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with every tank combination. But with Galahad do we have a special charge which allows him to get raised by Faceless and to get more distance to Artemis. The second tank must only hold the line, and Artemis doesn't get affected. It's of course not a guarantee to win, but it's definitely much harder for the attacker. To counter Arachne, Yasmine and Peppy is Corvus a great choice. He spawns an altar which triggers always when a teammate gets damaged. Perfect against heroes with dots or lower multiple attacks. They just kill themselves. It's a great and easy way, and you have a tank for Tristan's fast energy gaining too. Together with Galahad you don't even lose the Jorgen move. Yasmine and Phobos have always a fixed target, and if we choose the right hero, it's possible to catch both. There are more heroes, but these 3 are a good choice. After Morrigan's rework, she can be used in every setup. She buffs and heals the whole team. Phobos attacks now her instead of Artemis, and she stops every kind of resurrection and even steals it. With 355k life, not the worst hero, and she provides additionally an armor penetration artifact buff. And her skeletons catches many arrows if you face another Artemis. I hope you had fun and I wish you all the best. Peace.